Hello there. Welcome to another episode of Black Metal and Brews, a show in which I drink beer and listen to tapes, all the while hoping that my cat doesn't interrupt and ruin the whole thing. Today is the 11th and second to last day of our excursion through the beer camp box. It has been an exciting time. I've had beer. I've listened to music. You've done both of them with me, or at least watched me do them and cursed your luck that you can't find the box. Tonight, we're going to be doing something a little special. We've got some suggestions and slight assistance from my good pal who runs the Twitter account Metal Text. If you're not familiar with Metal Text, you should be if you enjoy what I'm doing. He collects quotes, phrases, blurbs from press releases, blogs, sometimes including my own, anything related to metal. We're often a pretty silly-sounding bunch, and Metal Text helps keep us grounded and helps us laugh at ourselves. It's a great little Twitter account, and as the mind behind Metal Text also had the beer camp box, it was a specific tweet that led to this video becoming a collaboration. Upon consuming this Yonder Bock, a collaboration between Cigar City and Sierra Nevada, Metal Text sent me, knowing full well that I was working my way through the box, this simple, beautiful tweet of, "I hate this tropical Maibach. I hate it." Needless to say, I have no opinion yet. This remains unopened, and I only have one of these boxes. But I thought, since our friend Metal Text is so strongly opinionated, I would let Metal Text pick a cassette from the Colloquial Sound Recordings roster. Tonight, we'll be listening to The Search for Blood by Dresden Streams. Since this contains two lengthy songs, we're going to get started right away. This group has not released an album or EP or anything in over a year now. So, like many of the classics, it's just a matter of time, I guess, but we'll see. Given that their last release was a CD compilation on Handmade Birds, perhaps they'll be going through a slightly larger avenue. We're going to pour the beer, and then I will read to you the comments from our friend Metal Text on this cassette. Woo. That's heady. You can see it right there, wow. But it's also fading fast. That's interesting. From here it smells like apple juice. We'll find out. I mean, that's, a good foot away from my face, so let's give this a minute. So, hopefully you have a relatively easy time hearing the dense chaos of Dresden Streams. To spare you the trouble of me pulling out my computer, I'm going to pull out my phone and read the brief but important commentary from Metal Text on this, showcasing the stellar writing skill that the rest of us music folks lack. This is, quote, "a really great EP. The post-black stuff with weirdo synth space noises really does it for me. More blackness of space metal, please. Thank you." Always the eloquent one. Joking aside, of course, this is meant to be a friendly prod, not harassment. This is a great tape, and Metal Text was right to pick it. I had initially been apprehensive about selecting a Dresden Streams cassette, although I was also initially apprehensive about selecting a Pregnant Lighter Axamite tapes during this series, as my initial goal was to highlight some of the overlooked releases. I do feel that, given that you can still find this on Bandcamp, even though Colloquial Sound Recordings is prominent in the little world in which I interact, I realize that these are still relatively underground artists, and it's really vital that you hear this. This is very well made, synth-infused black metal, often at their trademark trudging pace, and it's important that this gets shared. So, time for a sip of beer now that we're however many minutes into this. That smells really sweet. They did indicate that they used some experimental hops to get this kind of guava, mango, passion fruit overtones, and they're there, but also a little bit of syrupiness, honey perhaps. So, really interesting for a Maibach. Time for me to see if I hate it too. Now that's got a real gentle but very present malt body. Very little hop profile, despite the very present aroma there. I do not hate this. I'm not in love with it either. This is a relatively middle-of-the-road, interesting experiment. Maybe not something that is a game changer, but that's half the fun. As you can see, that it foamed up real quick, but the head's gone. It's just a few little bubbles lingering at the surface there. Really interesting color. Nice caramel body there. You can see through it. Just take a few more sips. Think a little more. Waste a little more of your time. In a lot of ways, this drink's similar to lager, just with a very interesting nose. I do feel that with that quick dissipation of the head, a lot of the intensity gets lost, but it may also be that a couple sips have, I've gotten acclimated to the scent and taste here. Because it's still there to some degree, but I do feel that it was a real kick right out the pour. I don't know if it's holding up as well as I'd like. Regardless, this is not the worst beer of the box, and it's not the best, as I've already said. Still, I like things that are going somewhere new. I like being exposed to new things. That is what initially drew me to Dresden Streams, who were actually the group I first came to know from Colloquial Sound Recordings, thanks to a very old post a very long time ago on the website Sun Occult, which I'm sure many of my viewers are familiar with. I'll link to them just in case you're not. But I remember they posted a link to the very first Dresden Streams cassette, and I ended up getting hooked on not just this group, but the entire roster. Just very, while following some familiar footsteps, it's taking some of the space and electronic elements I've found and enjoyed in some more traditional black metal, and gone a little farther with them. So I really enjoy this. I'm hoping that we'll see more from Dresden Streams at some point. And, a little experimentation doesn't hurt. This beer was certainly interesting to open up, and it'll be interesting to see how it grows and evolves as I continue to sip it. Unfortunately, I'm a slow drinker, and you guys don't get to watch me have this whole thing. However, as always, I urge you to try it yourself if this sounds interesting to you. And the tape, I believe, is sold out. It's definitely up in the Bandcamp for Colloquial Sound Recordings, though, so help yourself to it. Their downloads are usually about $2, and they're worth every penny. Each song on this tape, there's one per side, is about 10 to 11 minutes long, you're getting your money's worth there. I think you can download a 99-cent single on iTunes of a pop song for the same amount, but why waste your money there? You get a full album for $2. Anyway, thanks for your time. Have a great evening, and we'll see you tomorrow for the final installment of Black and Homebrews Goes to Beer Camp. Cheers.